To remain updated with the latest business news, click on the bell icon.
Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today. I'm Sakshi Batra and with me is a very special guest joining right in is Mr. Mridul Gupta. He's the Chief Operating Officer at CoinDCX. Thank you so much for taking our time for this discussion. Well, the world of cryptocurrencies has taken all of us by storm. How are you looking at this space going forward from here? The challenges that the world of cryptocurrencies is facing right now, and how do we go forward from here?
Sure. So, Sakshi, I think the industry has been great. A lot of new people joining the industry, trying to make more money off it, trying to understand at a fundamental level what crypto and blockchain is all about. I would actually not even say regulatory hurdles right now. If you see the verbatim from the ministry, till 2 years back, we used to talk about banning or not banning.
Yes.
Till 1 year back, we used to talk about cryptocurrencies or what is the currency notion of it. Now we have classified it as a virtual digital asset.
Yes.
We have put taxation to it. And we have put taxation to it in a very detailed manner, TDS, and then what aspects of transactions need to be monitored and taxed, capital gains tax, and how it has to be set off against certain currencies versus the others, right?
Yes.
So there is very detailed narrative going from the government that this industry is legit. It needs to be monitored in the right fashion. Now, does that monitoring hamper the industry in the short run or hamper the industry in the long run? I think that's up for debate. That is where players like us and various industries body are already engaging with the right regulators, right government authorities, policymakers.
Yeah.
I think what is very, very important is getting that tone of the conversation right? When we say that it is taxed, there are two ways of saying it. It is tagged, we want to promote it. It is tagged, it is bad for us, right? I think that verbatim needs to be aligned because government is already doing efforts on making sure that this becomes a legit industry.
Yes.
More and more people participate in it. I think it's a problem of the verbatim for the larger audience because when they hear it, they want to hear it in the right fashion. I think that is one point I would like to highlight. Second point is that on a very tactical basis, is taxation good? Taxation is definitely good because it gives transparency to the industry.
Yeah.
But are the tax slabs good? Maybe not because it's not at the right proportion when you look at other asset classes, maybe in equities or commodities or a currency or a fixed income. So that is a development we need to do in conjunction with the regulators, in conjunction with the government to make sure that they are the right slabs.
Yeah, but do you think, help me understand this, have you noticed a trend right from 1st of February when first time taxation was talked about on cryptocurrencies, from that time until now, has there been a surge in the people who wanted to invest in cryptocurrencies or has there been a decline? Because I wanted to understand, is taxation an enabler or a prohibitor right there?
It's a big enabler. February first week, we probably had the most number of people coming and registering themselves on the platform.
Okay.
And now people don't ask that, is it legal or is it illegal to invest in crypto assets, right? What they ask us is, how will I be taxed? Will you file taxes on my behalf or should I file taxes on my behalf? They try to understand, what is the taxation number, how much are they taxed, right? So the entire narrative with the audience has changed and it has been a big enabler on the number of people joining the platform and number of activities, be it trading, be it investing for a longer run, they're doing on the platform. So the time spent on the platform has increased, the number of people coming on the platform has increased, the number of people referring other people to come on the platform has also increased.
Okay, understood that. So that is definitely a positive development right there in terms of the people who were curious and now perhaps thought that this is a better time to now invest in it. Also wanted to understand, now there's a talk about how policymakers may be thinking of putting cryptocurrencies on the ambit of GST. How would that really impact the entire space and how will it be different from the taxation that so far has been talked about?
So we have to understand that these are very preliminary discussions which are happening.
Correct.
And even the taxation numbers of capital gains and TDS being floating around in the industry are like a first draft.
Yeah.
Right? It will go through its own journey of what the right number is, what the right balance is, who should be taxed and at what proportion should it be taxed, right? So all of these are developments where we encourage that, the policymakers get in a discussion with the industry and finalize the right number after doing some experiments, some sandboxes, some case studies, etc. Right? So I think if GST happens, so we are, by the way, already paying GST on the fees which we earn from the users, right? So all the transactions, government already know the value of the transactions, the amount of transactions, the fees being paid at an hourly, weekly, monthly level. So I think if we what we have to understand is that this industry is very, very early. It's like what internet was in 1990s, right? Early 1990s. Now, it has been proven time and again that regulation follows technological development, right?
Yeah.
You can't regulate something before it has been born.
Right.
So that is what we need to be aware of, that regulation have to be built and taxation have to be built in the right manner, that it makes the industry progressive versus binding it in a certain kind of framework which existed in the past.
Understand that. Absolutely. Also wanted to take your suggestion as to how are you viewing this entire clarification that's come from the Finance Ministry officials on how the virtual digital assets losses will not be able to be offset now. So how do you view this, and how should investors really view this development?
So I would actually take a step back, right?
Okay.
I think the definition of virtual digital asset is not clear right now, right? Is virtual digital asset a Bitcoin, or is virtual digital asset a crypto, or is virtual digital asset a combination of crypto and NFT,
Okay.
or is it like, something else, right? So first, that definition needs to be clear.
Okay.
That, what is the definition of virtual digital asset, and then offsetting or not offsetting sort of makes it easy to understand that what should I be taxed on and what should I not be taxed on, right? So first, that definition itself needs to be clear. Then you add a option of offsetting and not offsetting against it. I think taking a 10,000 feet view, we need to treat crypto at par with other asset classes.
Okay.
So offsetting is definitely allowed in other asset classes. It's not allowed in crypto. That itself is a slight determinant for the industry. And a lot of traders would find it difficult to trade if this determinant is not well addressed. The second big problem to offsetting or not offsetting is that unlike other asset classes which are very centrally monitored and controlled, crypto is actually decentralized, right? So if you don't do it right, it defeats the entire purpose, because then a lot of trading can happen in a peer-to-peer manner, right? I can come with a pen drive to you and you can give me cash, right? It's hard to track. The whole purpose of taxation or regulation is to make the industry more transparent. And you can do that if you make it in line with other asset classes, which is, we should not forget the larger theme because of these sub-themes, right? The larger theme should be making it transparent, making it monitorable, and making it regulated.
Right.
And then taxation and everything else is a sub-theme. So if we focus on sub-themes, we should not forget the larger theme, is what I would say.
Absolutely. But still, for all those first-time investors, there is still an underlying fear that what will happen to my investment if suddenly, the government decides to take a step which will actually perhaps wipe out my entire money in investments. How do you cater to those concerns of the investors, and how via your platform are you going to be making investments in cryptocurrencies more safer for all the investors?
So let me address the second question first. How do we make the investments more safer? So we do multiple things, right? One, we have very tight compliance checks on KYC and money movement. So every account which comes and gets opened on CoinDCX, we know the Aadhaar number, we know the PAN card number, we have done the photo liveness check, etc. for those people. We ensure that only Indians are trading on the exchange, right? Which is another big thing which government wants. We ensure that only selected coins get listed on the exchange. We have a 7M framework, which is being publicly put up on the website. Every coin passes through 7 parameters, and only if it has yes across 7 parameters, then only it gets listed, right? And there are like 12,000 crypto assets globally. We only have 150 of them, right? So those are the things we ensure. At the same time, when a person is buying or selling on the exchange, we try to give him more and more indicators, right? For example, for Bitcoin, can we give him more education around technical indicators and also around macro developments? Right? For Ethereum, can we do the same? So we try to replicate it across more and more coins. Then we have DCX Learn, where we try to give more information on blockchain, crypto, and macroeconomic developments. The idea for the DCX Learn is how do we make investors learn more and more so that they can be better at their game. Right? So that is on the making it safer part, and it's a start of the journey. We have not even scratched 1% of the surface. So there's like 100x more efforts which need to be done.
Right. So basically, I wanted to understand from you, there is still a risk factor that all the investors have while investing in cryptocurrencies. So how do you cater to those concerns that investors think that okay, if I've invested, but I still have the risk of losing all my money in case the government decides to take a step, and there's still uncertainty around this space.
So there are two kinds of risk, right? The risk I highlighted was the market risk. The price is moving up and down, and that is what we address via platform. Now I think we are past that stage where it is getting banned or where government is saying that, you should not do anything on the crypto
Sure.
side. China tried to do it, they could not. Even a lot of mining and trading is still happening in China, right? So, and thankfully for the efforts being done by the Honorable Finance Minister, by the Honorable Prime Minister, we are past that stage where it will be banned. The question is, would it be taxed?
Yeah.
And what would the tax slab be?
Correct.
So investors don't have to fear about losing their hard-earned capital.
Okay.
The question still is, would it be 20%, would it be 30% of tax which you have to pay to the government on the capital gains, right? Which is an easy answer. Like, if you are in the industry for the longer run, then you should be okay with that 25% or 30% because you will be making 10x, 20x, 100x returns.
Got that. And lastly, I wanted to understand from you any more innovations that you're doing on your platform that investors should know about?
Lot of them. We are strengthening our compliance frameworks. We are trying to provide more and more information to the investors when it comes to which coins to buy, what to look at, indicators, trends, etc. We are trying to launch more and more tools which make the investment easy. For example, you would have seen it in the mutual fund market that all mutual funds talk about is do SIP.
Yeah.
There's a reason for that, right?
Yeah.
Because if you do it, if you
In a
build a
consistent
discipline
manner.
around
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
right, then it's easy to make returns. So we are coming up with a similar plan. We call it CIP, right? So if you do it, because it's very hard to time the market, right?
Yeah.
You have to be disciplined, make the investment every now and then, every week, every month, and over the long run, it accumulates to a lot of wealth, right?
Yes.
So we are launching similar products which would have existed in the equities market and
Sure.
mutual fund market, trying to bring it to crypto in the right fashion.
Okay, understood that. Thank you so much, Mr. Gupta, for sharing your insights in the world of cryptocurrencies for all our viewers as well.
Thank you
so
for
much.
hosting me.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.